You're opening our eyes. You're giving us a glimpse of the foundation of really what we are built upon, to a foundational principle of what we are, and it's putting a vision inside of us that we'll see that again.
And, you know, and that's such a good point, because if we were to start doing now what we did for hundreds of years in America, we'd be considered radical.
Right.
You know, if we started having another church service in the Capitol, why, that's unconstitutional. Wait a minute, Thomas Jefferson's the one who starts this back at the beginning, and Madison and all these guys that we call constitutional experts. I mean, we're so used to thinking that government is all secular, that the Capitol building is all secular. And in addition to the activities we had there, we had some really super Christian statesmen do some remarkable things there. You know, we had the Daniel Websters, and Daniel Webster did so much in relation to Christian faith. But a guy that I've even mentioned with the church service is John Quincy Adams. But nobody looks at his Christian convictions as a statesman inside that Capitol.
Yeah.
But when he was elected to the U.S. House of Representatives, he went into the House as an anti-slavery guy. He hated slavery. He wanted it to end. His nickname became the Hellhound of Abolition. I mean, he's a bulldog. He got his teeth in this, wouldn't let it go. And as he got into the House, he said that at that point in time in American history, he said that roughly 80% of the House should have been anti-slavery, but they weren't. They were pro-slavery. They said, oh, that's a moral issue. We don't want to deal with moral issues. Oh, that's controversial. Oh, that'll create a ruckus back in my constituent. Same kind of stuff we hear today.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, he walks in with a lot of courage and conviction, said slavery is wrong, and I'm going to stop it. Well, he came in on Monday, and Monday in the House of Representatives, the First Amendment of the Constitution says that the citizens have a right to petition their government for redress of grievances. And on Mondays was petition day in the House. So, Matt, Laura, if you guys said, we want a bill passed on a certain issue, you could take a napkin from a restaurant, write out what you want, and give it to your congressman. On Monday, he would submit it to Congress, because that's a petition from the people. So he would submit it to Congress. They would look at that. They would assign it to the committee to see if they should do something with it. Well, he walked in one Monday morning with stacks of anti-slavery petitions. Well, it's a pro-slavery House, and they're not real interested in having all these hearings on anti-slavery. So they did then what they still do in Congress today. They used the Rules Committee, and that's an appropriate way to do it. But what they did is they went to the Rules Committee, and they came out with a new rule to guide the House. And the new rule said Monday is still petition day in the House, and on Monday you can introduce any petition you want to, just so long as it's not an anti-slavery petition.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, they called it the John Quincy Adams gag order, designed to shut him up. We're going to stop this dissenting voice. He came in the next week with another stack of petitions. They went through the roof. This went for years. They tried censure, they tried reprimand, they tried expulsion. They couldn't shut the guy up. Nobody liked him. And talk about a lonely guy in Congress. He eats lunch by himself. Nobody wants to be around him. But he's got these principles he's not going to change at all. And what happened was, after years of this, there was an interview with them, and they said, you know, you've been doing this for years. You're not making progress. You're not winning. Nothing's happening here. Why do you do it? I mean, don't you get frustrated or depressed? And he said, no. And they said, why? Here's his answer. He said, I do this because duty is ours. Results are God's.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
I don't do this because of how it turns out. I do it because it's the right thing to do. In the 14th year of doing that, he finally converted enough members of the House to his position. They rescinded the gag order. The House became anti-slavery. They came up with a three-step plan to end slavery, a constitutional amendment that would have ended slavery back in 1843. We would have avoided 600,000 lives being lost. We just didn't have it going in the Senate. But here's a guy who would not quit. He hung in there. He wasn't bitter. He wasn't mean. He just principle-driven. Christian principles drove this guy, and you read his diary, it is unbelievable.